How's everyone doing? We have some re-splitting to do today, guys. I have a feeling this will be the last time we'll be running the super splitter before the big move to our new wood yard. Then we're going to shut down the Hardy for the season. It seems like we always run that furnace between Halloween and Easter, and today's the day. We have some forecasted warm weather coming. It's certainly not right now. It's kind of chilly out, but that's going to allow us to get some splitting done. And I think before we get started, let me just show you a couple things back here, show you my progress on getting this wood yard shut down. This is where I'm at right now, guys. I got the final load of this oak to go through the machine. This is my next load. And then I have saved this load for last. This one looks like it's just going to give me trouble. There's a lot of oak in here. There are some bigger logs, but they're also kind of crooked. And I'm going to have to get real creative with the saws and where I'm cutting these so that they get through that machine with minimal effort. The ones that are too big, I think I'm going to ask Log Hauler Jesse to load them up and let's take them over to the new yard, and we will have them waiting for everyone during the Ohio Wood Burner open house. Let me ask you a question though, guys. When you're faced with a job, like changing spark plugs in your engine, you know, there's always that one spark plug that you just can't get to. Are you the kind of guy or gal that you change that one first, or do you change that one last? I'm the kind of guy who changes the most difficult one last. I don't know, I just like to get the easier ones under my belt before I tackle the most difficult one, and I think that's probably my mentality with this load here. This one has been on my mind since it got delivered. When I saw these coming off the truck, I just knew that this was going to be a tough load of logs to make into firewood. But between that little bit over here and then this and a few stragglers here and there, we're ready to get this machine loaded up and taken to the new yard. But what we got to do first though, I need to get these last re-splits done, and then we're going to shut down our furnace for the year. I thought I would just take you over to the Hardy, and then we'll just take a look at what we do to shut it down for the season. Let's go. Some of you get annoyed by how I get annoyed with re-splitting, but guys, I'm here to tell you, I have never once been asked by a customer to bring them larger wood. It seems to me, the way I see the firewood market and my customers, the smaller the split, the more money the wood is worth. And while there's nothing wrong with a big piece every now and then, it just seems that smaller splits for me, it's the way to go. So when I have pieces that are too big, we re-split them, they go into inventory. And I have found one of the best machines for that's the super splitter, and I know that you guys have found this to be a very interesting machine, and I'm here to tell you it is. This machine has put me where I am today. I have a feeling I would not be in my position I am right now had it not been for this. And while my production may have outgrown the super splitter as a core producer, it still has its place, and you are going to see what this thing can still do for us here at Ohio Wood Burner in 2 seconds. Pretty small, but no problems. wet though. Fast work. And you see the occupational hazard. We're still working in water. The weather here, guys, we've had these 2 major storms that have come through. We've had multiple days of power outages. High winds, I've had some roof damage. That has slowed me down too. Probably the biggest miscalculation I had starting Ohio Wood Burner was the weather. And I just feel silly even saying that because I'm from Ohio. You know, the weather is an everyday occurrence here. But I just wasn't ready for the wind, the rain, the mud, the snow. And you just think when you're developing this plan in your head, you know, that every day is a perfect day to go out and work, and your first 90-degree day, everything changes. So that's going to be it for the super splitter here for a while. The 405, when I'm running the perfect split knife, no resplitting. All the pieces are nice. So let's head on over to the furnace. We're going to shut it down for the season. I'll just show you how we do that. Let's go this way. So I don't know, is this an indicator of being middle-aged, guys? This was my favorite pallet that I've ever had. I've kept this thing forever. And it's twin. I accidentally drove over top of it with my trailer. I was backing my trailer up and I smashed it. What a bummer. That just ruined my day. The reason I like these 2 pallets is the size, and they're thick. And I would use these when I would unload my trailer to keep my feet out of the mud. I don't know, something about walking through mud, it wears you down after a while. So what do you know, my favorite pallet, I've had it for a long time and I smash it. So now I'm just gonna have to find another one. This was a load I made yesterday evening. This is all oak with the perfect split. There will be no resplits in here. These are all nice, guys. And these will be stacked right here. And these will be going out to that restaurant. I have got 2 restaurants now that are exclusive oak. And these are gonna get stacked here. With this push that I've had with production and the time of the year, I'm out of room. And that's why I've been stacking this up on the pavement, because the ground's too soft. I can't get my trailer out into the yard to stack where I would like to put these. It's just the way it is. I am under extreme time constraints getting everything done here before I can move to the new wood yard. All of these logs, I just want to get them processed here before I move the machine. Then I won't have to pay trucking again to get these logs moved 4 miles down the road. Okay, let's go to the furnace. Like I said, guys, high winds. We have a row of poplars on the side of our property, and this one snapped off and fell down into my stack of oak. But this is what we've been dealing with. There are trees down everywhere here in our area. The ground is as saturated as it can get, and then these high winds come and these trees are just falling over. This one here just snapped off at the top. And here we are at the Hardy, guys. This has been, I don't know, 16th, 17th winter of heating the house with our Hardy H2. If you recall, the video I put up in the fall, I had this big pile of logs here, guys, and they are all gone except for the ones that wouldn't fit. And I think what my plan is, we're gonna shut the furnace down. Once this ground dries up, I'll bring the axis in here and we'll split these bigger ones and they'll go right into the woodshed. I will put a link to that video if you want to watch again. That was one of my biggest videos of all time. Seemed like I triggered a lot of people by saying that this was free heat. I think a lot of people missed how I was defining what free heat meant to me. Free heat is not paying a bill at the end of the month. But you can see the big pile of firewood that I had here. And guys, it is all gone. On top of what was here that heated our house, I had brought in 4 IBC totes of offcuts from the firewood processor. And I brought those in when the ground was frozen. Otherwise, you know, the ground's too soft. I can't fork a big heavy basket like that through the mud. And you guys wanted to see how much wood one of these furnaces go through to keep your house warm for free heat. I'm telling you, it's a lot of work for free heat. When I would bring a load of wood down from the processor to be stacked, I would throw some of these into the back of the trailer, and then I just wheelbarrowed this across. So this wood I was going to be throwing into the Hardy, but for now we're going to shut it down for the season. These will be stacked and they will be heating the house next winter. Here we go with the Hardy, guys. This is the final ember that's heating the house, and it just seems this is the time of year when the temperature starts going up. The house doesn't need as much heat, so the Hardy will sit out here and smolder. If it sits long enough, the fire goes out. So then you're always out here trying to get it restarted, and it just becomes a pain. I have just learned that once Easter comes, yeah, there are still some days that you can get some cold weather. 2 years ago, our last day of snow was May 11th. So we can still get some winter weather. But what we do, we just go to space heaters in the house and then we just deal with it. This is just a good time of the year to shut this down. So let's go ahead, I'll show you how we shut it down, but this is the last of it for heating the house. You can hear the blower motor is burning right now, so our water temperature is probably beneath 170 degrees. So come on around here. This is the back side of the Hardy. And this is the control panel. Here's our water temperature. So this, the fan will shut off at 170 degrees, but this is still providing heat for the house. And this is the blower motor that's stoking that fire. So this has a very complex shutdown procedure, guys, and I'm going to show it to you right now. This is the first step. Okay, the furnace is now shut down for the season. Well, I guess that's really all you need to do to shut it down, but I'm going to take the extra step to go into the basement and flip the switch so I kill the power that's out here. I have the power to my light bulb coming off this furnace too. I just shut everything down and it's all done for the year. It seems, okay, the Hardy is stainless steel. The water tank, everything about this is stainless steel. There's really nothing that you have to do to it. Some of the other type of furnaces, you got to treat the water. Some of them, I think they even drain the water out of them. This one, you just leave it in and you just let it sit. Other things that people do is they will put a cover over top of the smokestack. I guess I could do that, but I have never done it. So rainwater will get down into the firebox, but I leave my ashes in the bottom. It soaks everything up. Come fall, I just shovel it out and we light the fire and we start it all over again. Some maintenance things that I do, but you know how it is. You have good intentions in the springtime and then you just never get it done. You have some oiling ports on the electric motor for the blower. You can put some oil in here to keep that well lubricated. For the taco pump, there's really nothing else to do to it. It just sits here and then you hope that it works correctly in the fall. I have had this rebuilt one time and then that's it. It's just been a very reliable piece. There have been some mice living in here and they've chewed on some of the wires and I've taken care of them. But that's pretty much it, guys. I think that one mouse that's been living in here is probably the smartest mouse in Northeast Ohio. The one time I opened the panel, he was in there in his recliner and had one of those drinks with the umbrella on top of it. He was living large. All these other mice are out here freezing to death. This guy in here is living in a sauna. There is still one more thing that I have to do though to shut this down for the season. So in our basement, we have our domestic hot water tank. Ours is an 80-gallon electric. Follow me on this. You know, the feed comes in from the top and it goes into the tank, it's heated up, and then it goes back out into the house. I have installed a T at the top of that feed. So I have a valve that I shut. I have a valve on a line that runs out to the hardy that I open. So that water goes into the hardy. It goes into its own heat exchanger, which sits on top of this hardy, and then it goes back into the house so that my hot water tank is being filled up with hot water. So what I need to do is I gotta reverse those valves. I gotta open the one and shut the other, so now that water doesn't come out to here and then back in and then into the tank. That's it. Okay. But one thing though, I don't want to confuse anyone. You know, the Hardy is a 100-gallon tank of water with the firebox in the middle of it. The domestic hot water does not mix or commingle with the tank of water that's out here. That would be kind of nasty. It's all self-contained in its own loop. There is a big spool of copper pipe that sits on top of this, so that water never gets into the tank water. And then that's it. That's all you do. Because the Hardy is all stainless steel, that makes things easy. And I think it's good for people like me who can let maintenance fall off my radar screen from time to time. So that is one of the benefits of the Hardy. But, you know, it's unfortunate they don't make them anymore. You can still get parts for these, but the company from Mississippi, they don't make these anymore. This is the view from the ash bin, guys, and so you're on the underside of the grates. And one time during this year, I let the wood burn down to hardly nothing, and I flipped the grates over. There's still some maintenance like that. Because of all that heat and because of all the weight of the wood on top, they will start to sag, especially that middle one. So you just rotate them. There's 3 of them in here. You can see the gap between the one right there. So that's the back one. Here's the middle one, and up in front is the third one. So I just rotate them like tires. I move the one in the middle, I flip it over and bring it to the front, and then move them back. This is an old one that was breaking on me. I had replaced it, but this is what happens to them. You know, they start sagging and then they break. So this one here got about as much miles out of it as I could. I think if I were more aggressive with maintaining these, this wouldn't happen as much. If you keep your ash level low, that keeps that extra heat away from it. And if you keep rotating them and flipping them, but you know, sometimes in the winter time, it just, it sounds good in theory, but you know, it just ain't gonna happen sometimes. And these are my great graveyards. And each one of these, they used to cost $50 each, but now the prices have gone up. They've practically doubled. These are made out of cast, and you know, you can see where the mold, where they were poured into them. They are pretty heavy, and I think there's probably a way where you could just invent your own. I know a guy who, he's more industrious than me. He got some old sewer covers and a torch and torched his own grates for these. That would have been a savings. But I just drive up to Cherry Valley and see Mrs. Shadle, and I usually break about 1 a year. Some winters I've gotten through pretty clean, no problems, but that's just one of those extra expenses for free heat. I think it's time though, guys, that we let the Hardy take the summer off. And we'll thank him for his loyal service in keeping us warm and giving us the hottest shower, and I mean that, the hottest shower in Northeast Ohio. And that's it from the woodyard today, guys. That's what we have got going on. We are shutting down the Hardy for the season, and it's just ironic to me that we are standing where my wood hobby began, and now we are ending the season as we begin a new chapter of Ohio Woodburner, heading over to the new wood yard. Ironic. It's like rain on your wedding day. It's like a free ride when you're already there. It's like, well, you get the idea. Here we go, guys. We are shutting down the Hardy, and guys, we are going forward. In some upcoming videos, I will be putting out more detailed information for our open house. It'll have the address, it'll have the times, it'll have some recommendations on hotel stays. Guys, I hope that we have some nice weather, because this could be a really nice day for all of us. I hope everyone has a great day.